FIFA 22 news is just around the corner. At the end of this month, we have EA Play Live, where EA will be showing the latest games and updates that are set to release over the next year. In this, we will get a FIFA 22 trailer, and from this point, it'll just be constant. Every other week, there'll be something that gets released about FIFA 22. All the way up to the point in which it gets released sometime in September. Now here on this channel, we have already uploaded some videos about FIFA 22, such as getting ready for the web app and also revealing the latest leaks. Today we are looking at what fans would like to see for this upcoming game. Before I do get into the video, if you enjoy the content here and want to see a bit more from me, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. We are uploading videos every week, and most of the time it was about the latest tips for FIFA 21. But now we are slowly starting to go into the latest FIFA 22 news. So if you do want to stay up to date, then make sure you are following the channel. Getting back into the video, it might seem like a long way away for FIFA 22, but it is just a couple months. We're currently in early July, we have August, and then towards the end of September, that's typically when we get new FIFAs. If you're looking to get your hands on a demo, the web app, or even pay for early access, FIFA 22 is even closer. And just so you know how close we actually are, EA have already started to send out beta tests of FIFA 22, and they're already starting to release official information, such as the cover star, which yet again is going to be Mbappe. So with all of this in mind, let's see what some of you guys are hoping for with FIFA 22. I dropped this question over on the community tab. It says this: "Hey everyone, I want to try a new type of video next week, which includes some of your opinions. Let me know some of the changes you would like to see in FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. It could be new gameplay features, a new type of game mode, changes to existing game modes, absolutely anything. If you think it would improve the game, then let me know what you would like to see in FUT 22. Some of your comments will be included in one of next week's videos. PS, by the time you see this video, football will be home." Now I'm recording this video on the 11th of July before the England vs Italy match, so you can either go into the comment section, call me a god for saying football will be home by the time you're watching this video, or you could actually just laugh at me for being cocky. But either way, thank you to everyone that did leave a comment on this post. Unfortunately, I can't go through every single one, but there's still a lot of things to talk about. And if there's even more suggestions, we could do a part 2 to this. But as for this video, the first comment comes from Matthew Fitzgerald, and he says AI is shot blocking. Do I even need to explain? The truth is, Matthew, you don't. Everyone has been in a situation before where the AI just seems to jump over the ball despite you being the player that managed to get that person in front of the ball. And it's not just FIFA 21, it's been this way for a very long time. If you have made the effort to place a player correctly within the position of someone potentially blocking a shot, then it should block a shot. I'm not talking about this being the AI taking full control over everything, where you can actually just put your controller down and the AI will run from one side of the pitch all the way to the other just to get an absolutely crazy block. But if you make the effort to bring one of your players into a defensive position where they're right in front of your opponent just as they're about to shoot, it makes sense for the AI to take control for a split second for just one animation where it blocks the shot. We're not talking about this being a situation where the opponent has had a perfect goal scoring opportunity. They managed to get in a position where they're right in front of a defensive player, and instead of trying to find space to make a shot, instead they've tried to shoot straight through them. But unfortunately, this type of playstyle has been rewarded because the AI always seems to lunge for the ball, but they always lunge over the ball, and they're never actually able to block the shot. What would make this 1,000 times better is if we actually had control over our player lunges instead of them just doing it automatically, because there are some times when my player lunges over the ball and I didn't press anything. This is just the AI doing its own animation. So there's a lot of different ways in which EA should be able to improve this, and I hope they do. The next comment comes from Drobes D, and they say being able to use FUT points to buy specific players and items instead of relying on pack luck. EA still make their money from microtransaction and everyone has access to the players they want. And I don't really see the issue of this not actually being a thing. It would be crazy for them to have every single player in Ultimate Team listed in a separate store where you can only buy them with FIFA points. That would be a lot of players to go through, each of them having their own price for FIFA points, because you don't want to be spending the exact same amount of FIFA points on, say, a Ronaldo as what you're able to spend on a low rated rare gold player. But it's fair to say that when most players are looking to put money into the game, they don't want any low rated gold players or any silver players or bronze players. They want to be going for the best of the best. And if they don't want to try their luck in FIFA points because there's a very low chance that you'll get anything good, they could just use their FIFA points to buy a Ronaldo, a Messi, and they could just have a separate place where they have the top 20 highest rated rare gold players all listed, all having different values for FIFA points, where you could just go in and straight buy them. As this is EA, of course, if something like this was to ever be implemented, it's not going to be a situation of 150 FIFA points goes and gets you Ronaldo. It's probably going to be a hell of a lot more, especially when we take into consideration that 100k packs are already 2000 FIFA points. That works out at being around £15 in the UK. And even though Ronaldo on the Xbox is getting anywhere between 100 to 200k, you would think that would be slightly more. We have to bear in mind that at the beginning of FIFA, players like Ronaldo, Messi, they exceed 1 million coins. So I'm sure if this was to be added, it's going to be very expensive. The next comment comes from Andy Dean 29, and they say, I would like to be able to set my players where I want them for corners. What adds to this is Leonardo Onday also replies to this to say this: yeah, I want this too. I'm tired of having a 5'8 winger, front post, and a 6'9 defender with 99 heading accuracy standing on the halfway line. This needs to be added. Over the past couple of years of FIFA, there's been a lot more tactics that you can implement into your team. It used to be that you just set the team's formation and change the player's positioning. Now you can actually go into your custom tactics, tell players to stay back, tell players to push forward. You can have players stay wide or come in and cut inside. There's even been changes to set pieces. You can change the kicker as well as change how aggressive you are within these set pieces by putting more players within the box. Or you could take a more defensive approach, but unfortunately you can't dictate which players go in. So you could play very aggressive and have loads of players flood into the box just for you to take a corner. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the players that you want. It might be some of the smallest players in your team go inside the box while some of your tallest players still stay back on defense. There's been situations where I've wanted to have certain players in the box that after the game I've changed my custom tactics. I've put it to the max so that all players will actually go into the box when I'm taking a corner. This also leaves you open for some pretty bad counterattacks. So an easy solution for all of this is just allowing players to be able to decide which players actually go into the box and which players stay back. Personally, I would like my two centre backs to go up every single time, and I actually want them in the box. There's no point in me having a centre back on the edge of the box. Their height doesn't make any difference there, and especially with their long shots or volleys for that matter, they're not actually going to be able to get a shot off that actually challenges the keeper. The whole thing just becomes a complete mess and actually a waste of a set piece. The next comment comes from Michael Scott Paper Company, and they say position changes should be discussed. Why can't you change a centre back to a defensive mid or a right back? You can move a striker to a defensive mid. I've seen other guys play Mbappe CDM at centre back, and I think this is the time in which EA just let us put any player in whatever position. There are some very good centre backs that would be even better in a centre defense mid position. Likewise, there'll be some CDM players that work great as a centre back, but you can't change them, or at least you can't play them within those positions without them being affected by chemistry. So this brings us down to one of two things. The first thing is that you're able to change players' positions to whatever you want. If you want to take a right back all the way to right mid, a centre back all the way to CDM, maybe even just do something completely random where you take a right back all the way to left forward. If you want to be able to do that, you should be able to change the position, as this is your ultimate team and you get to be the manager of it. The other solution is that EA just completely remove chemistry. This has been something that players have been talking about for years. There are some cards within this game that are absolutely amazing, but because of the league or the nationality that they play with, unfortunately, they just haven't got good links around them. So by putting that specific type of card or that specific type of player within the team, you actually put yourself at a disadvantage because you have to link them up with other players just to get 100 chem. This is what's led to some players be very tactical with what they do. They set up their formation, they set up their team, and then put all the other players that they want to play with on their bench. And as soon as you get into the game, players pause, they change all their players' positions, they change the formation to what they want to play with, and they substitute the players that they want on. You could argue that right now we do somehow get around it by doing this. But if we are going to do this, EA might as well just let us do it from the get-go without all the hassle. It will lead to some ridiculous situations where players are playing Mbappe down into centre back. But we have to remember that this is a game. This is your ultimate team. Right now, there's mechanics within the game that's holding you back for building your ultimate team. If you play Mbappe in centre back and it works for you and it ends up being really good, then you have the chance to actually do that. If you do want to play the risk of Mbappe being in centre back, and of course it's likely for him to be an awful player within that position, then you're going to lose the game. But at least you have the choice in building what you think is the ultimate team. But anyway guys, these are just a few changes that players would like to see in FIFA 22. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with what we've talked about in this video, or do you have some other suggestions that you would like to see in FIFA 22 Ultimate Team? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.